البخاري ومسلم فيما اتفقا عليه عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. The hadith tonight in the collection of both Bukhari and Muslim is what we call muttafaq alayh, where Abi Huraira, on his authority, radiallahu anh, tells us that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam says, this is a hadith Qudsi. So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam يقول الله عز وجل أنا عند ظن عبدي بي. So the hadith tonight is actually something that you probably have heard a few times before, and it's quite short. What we're going to recite is actually quite short. It's part of a longer hadith and comes to us through many different narrations, over a dozen different narrations of this hadith. The ending changes, but the beginning is exactly the same words. So I'm just going to focus on the beginning portion, where the Prophet ﷺ says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I am as my servant thinks of me. أنا عند ظن عبدي بي. So this is an interesting hadith. Obviously it's a hadith Qudsi, and a hadith Qudsi basically is not a regular hadith and is not Quran. It's somewhere in between, and we've talked about it before. What's interesting about this hadith, not only does it come to us through many different narrations, and the wordings are different, but it really is centralized about a concept that many of us are not aware of. That is simply that your reality is dictated by your perception. Your reality is dictated by how you perceive that reality. Without getting too confusing, basically the point behind this hadith is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to tell us something. It's quite personal. This hadith is personal to every single one of us because it means something different to every one of us. There's not one understanding. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sometimes puts us in situations that need interpretation. Perhaps I just had a car accident, or perhaps my child got sick, or perhaps I was trying to go for a job and I didn't get it, or I studied very hard and I failed my exam. This is reality, and it's happening to all of us. How you interpret that reality depends on you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is confirming that your interpretation is correct. So He's telling you, if you think the test that He has placed upon you was punishment, perhaps, maybe your son got sick and he's in the hospital, and you tell yourself, that's because of my dhunub, and Allah is being just with me, and He is punishing me with this. This is precisely what's happening to you. If on the other hand, you choose a different interpretation and you say, no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to elevate both me and my child in this example, and is testing me so I get higher places in Jannah and in Dunya. This is precisely what it will be for you. So it's so liberating because you get to dictate the story that you live. You cannot control the events that happen to you, but you can control how you interpret those events. And the outcome of this is one thing, and that is hope. The outcome of this hadith, or the beginning part of the hadith, is hope. And hope is defined as what? How do we define hope? We define hope as the belief that my future will be better than my present. And hope can be naive or can be deep and concrete. And the hope that we're talking about here is the hope of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where we see him, the simple and familiar example that we've all have seen, where he leaves Mecca, the place where he grew and he loved, and he started his da'wah, and he was removed and had to go to Medina. And in his hijrah, he did everything that he could, everything humanly possible to avoid capture. And then they found him anyway. His enemy found him, and he was about to be destroyed. And him and his companion were in that cave. We all know that story. And the amount of hope that he had, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, at that second was concrete and deep hope. Hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no matter what the outcome is, he may have been caught and he may have been killed. We know how the story ends because we're all here, but he didn't know how the story was going to end. And he had tremendous hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not that things will go his way, not that he will get what he wanted, not that that job he lands, or that exam he passes, or that wife he marries. None of that, because he can't control it. But hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a master plan, a grandiose plan for him, and it is the best plan for him. And he accepted that with open hearts. So that is the point behind the first portion of the hadith that we'll stop with. That is, what is your outlook on life? What is your perception of what's happening to you? You get to dictate it. You get to draw it. And if you're not happy with how it's been in the past, you get to change it anytime you want. We hope this was helpful. يروي الإمام البخاري ومسلم عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول الله عز وجل أنا عند ظن عبدي بي وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.